Today we are at VFW Post 8546 in Salem, New Hampshire, where several local stand-up comedians have banded together for a comedy night event, and it's to benefit the Veterans Relief Fund. Here they are to talk about that event right now.
Can I get a picture of you three handsome young men?
If you find them first.
Hi, this is Joe Yannetty coming to you straight from Salem, New Hampshire, VFW Post 8546. Hey, and we're doing a fundraiser here for the VFW. Bunch of great guys, Lance, the commander, and Jimmy, the quartermaster, and everybody else who's a member here. And we got so much going on.
Don't forget Skipper and Gilligan.
Yeah, Skipper, Gilligan, and Jimmy. Jimmy's the quartermaster because he listens 25% of the time. So on the show tonight, we got Jody Sloane, who isn't here yet because she lucked out and got a great commercial for Foxwoods. Is it Foxwoods? And so she's going to be here a little late. But we got the great Jack Walsh. Say hello, Jack.
How are you, everybody?
And Jack spends a lot of time here in Salem, New Hampshire, because his girlfriend lives here, and she won't come see him, so he has to travel to see her.
That's exactly right.
No, she's a beautiful. Actually, I went to grammar school with Jack's girlfriend, and it's great to see her around. She's helping out over there. My lovely fiance, Emer Mazzetti, who's actually organized this whole thing. And we got the great Mr. Steve Scarfo.
Hello. We are here.
Yep.
I had to come all the way from 20 minutes away.
Wow. Steve was born and raised in New Hampshire, correct? No?
Close.
Close.
I was born in Massachusetts. I was raised in Maine, and then I moved to New Hampshire because I couldn't decide which state was better or worse.
I would have gone with Maine.
Yeah. I should have just kept going north. I look much better up north than I do down here.
The further north you go, the better looking you get?
Absolutely. You don't need the hair, and I have all the teeth.
So you don't get better looking, just in comparison to everybody else, you're better looking.
That's the way it works. No matter how good you look, if you look better than the guy next to you, you are a model, my friend.
Yes. And just because it's a fundraiser for the VFW, I want to mention that Steve is actually a veteran of the U.S. Army.
That's right. I did 2 years. Seems like forever ago, 1987 to 89. I spent a year in Korea, which is as bad as it sounds. Average temperature 12. And
Wow.
yeah, it's cold. You've seen MASH? Yeah, without the bombs, that's the same place. I don't think they've come across anything newer.
Wow.
Since then.
That's fantastic. Actually, the girl that's on the show, Jody Sloane, is a veteran of the U.S. Coast Guard. My daughter is in the U.S. Air Force. She's an air traffic controller. My fiance's son was in the Marines. He did 2 tours he did one in Afghanistan and one in Iraq. Her sister is still a major in the Army, and she did 2 tours in Iraq. And her brother-in-law, that sister's husband, did 2 tours in Iraq, also was a major in the U.S. Army. He's out of the Army. His sister's still in. She runs the ROTC program down in Massachusetts. And Jack...
My dad was in the Korean War.
Oh, my God. My dad was, too.
He was stationed in Germany. I used to say, how do you get that gig
He's
out?
pretty far from the front. Germany is a pretty safe space to be for the Korean War.
I think he was cooking or something. I don't know.
You want me on this wall in Germany while the war's in Korea.
I went to sign up, though, in the 70s. I went to sign up for the Army, and when they saw how bad my knees were, they said, we just think you're trying to get, because the draft had ended, they said, we just think you're trying to get surgery. We're not going to take you. So
Really? They thought you were trying to get free surgery by joining the Army?
Yeah.
What year was that?
I was at the Black Falcon Terminal. You remember
Yeah.
And that's where we went. And it was 1976, 77.
Wow. I never heard of that. You just want insurance. It's a good thing that doesn't happen in the United States anymore.
No. Who needs insurance?
That's right. The whole insurance problem was solved years ago.
I need insurance.
Jack is actually going in for hip replacement. His second.
Well, it was different hips, but yeah.
All right, it wasn't the same hip they're replacing twice. I think they might have got that.
Yeah.
And my dad was actually in the Korean War, fought in the Korean War, and in Korea. You know what? I never knew where my dad was, and my oldest brother told me my father would never talk about the war, and he said all he ever said was it was really cold. And then my mother gave me my dad's Purple Heart, and it said where he was, and I looked it up, and to this day, where my dad was is considered the worst conditions in the history of war. It was 70 below zero.
Holy, where he was in? Where in Korea? Was
North Korea, and they went up, and I saw this documentary. There was a doctor talking about it, how that guys were coming into like the MASH,
Oh yeah.
and they were frozen, and then they'd start to thaw out and start bleeding. And this happened to this guy, what, like 70 years earlier, and he couldn't even get through it. Talking about it, so. This is why we help our veterans, because these guys have been through that. A lot of these guys, and there's just a couple of people walking across the camera, and my neighbors. That's okay. This is Vicky and Tracy. Say hello. Go ahead. Now you have to look in the camera and say hi. Say hi to everybody. No, these are my neighbors.
What happens when you
It's
work
no.
a live show.
That's right. With live show, people just walk by. That's okay. And now they're buddy that they look. See, he knows. A man knows to walk behind the camera. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. So this is fantastic. And Larry is so nice to come down here. And thanks for showing up, buddy.
Oh, yeah, anytime, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, all goofiness aside, this is the place to be, right? Support the
Yeah.
veterans. I was lucky enough to serve for a very short period of time, but for everyone else that's out there doing it, all the family and all of us, if you have a chance to come out to an event like this, come out. We have a great time doing it, but for more important reasons, come out and help us raise money and have a good time.
Yep, and we're having a great time. And of course, the headliner of the show is Mr. Lenny Clarke.
Who's better than
And
Lenny?
nobody's better than Lenny. Lenny does so much to help the veterans, and he would actually be here, but Lenny's running a little late because he's doing a fundraiser for someone else before he comes here. And I don't think Lenny's ever said no to anything.
No, and I get to work with him a lot. He doesn't say no. He does Children's Hospital. He raised $3 million for Children's Hospital or Mass General or something in one night.
Wow. And he's doing so great, and he deserves all the happiness in the world, because even when I was sick, he did every fundraiser they ran for me, and except for the one that wasn't around here. But he's such a great guy, and anytime you can go catch Lenny Clarke, make it a point to go see what he does, because it's fantastic.